It really instilled a work ethic in me that I had to work really hard, and I think that's the way my life's been. I've had to work really hard for all my accomplishments in business. I actually worked on some of the early, what's called power reactor cutback systems for nuclear power plants. I built modular bathrooms. I've designed and built all sorts of electrical distributive systems for controls. They gave me the foundation of understanding the principles and the physics and potentially the equations behind what I was doing. I started and I worked at a company called Container Corporation of America all during my college years. If you look at a Pringle potato chip can, that was one of the early developments of that group that I was involved with. And so my early years were in the design of electrical systems that actually controlled those machines. So I branched off and started my own company using modular concepts to kind of revolutionize a couple industries. One is the composite can industry, then the aluminum and steel can industry, and then eventually other industries, now quite a bit into the energy business and alternative energy business. As I've traveled around the world, I've become really concerned about what I see in terms of diminishing of our natural resources, our rivers and streams, and there's an assault on all of those resources to produce food and to produce jobs and to produce homes. And so I've done a really, I think, admirable job in convincing industry on how to use my concepts of modularization, and actually happened by accident be introduced to a company called Premium Standard Farms that was producing millions of pigs in northern Missouri, and they were struggling with the waste product. But I also happened to have seen what the Germans were doing with that waste, and they were using a process called anaerobic digestion, which is a 4-step biological chemical process that turns animal waste into methane. I looked at the various technologies and felt like we could apply that to the project in northern Missouri. So I've spent about $50 million of my own money developing that process, and we've demonstrated now that we can actually take that manure and turn it into compressed natural gas that can be used in California in vehicles. Not only are we capturing that methane, which is 30 times more destructive to the atmosphere than CO2, we're able to displace fossil fuels. My vision is that if we can have an environmental impact, it makes my young engineers and people passionate, not just about making a living, but making a huge impact on the world. And everybody says, well, one person can't save the world. Well, one person can't, but one person can help come up with visions and then have other people passionate enough. So that's kind of God willing. My dad lived to be 90 almost, so I'm hoping that I've got 20 more years to help with that concept and vision and use everything I learned at St. Louis U and my career to implement that vision.